Hello everyone, I hope you're well. Today I'm going to do a library haul. I've done a whole video on libraries, which all my opinions on it, what I think UK libraries can do better, all my opinions. I'll link that video down below called Let's Make Libraries Great Again. I normally get graphic novels from libraries because graphic novels will bankrupt you, that's all I'm saying. So I just sneak them out the library. Now, I filmed this video a while back, so that's why I've read a lot of these. I'll tell you, give you kind of mini reviews in this video, but let's just say contouring isn't for me, and I had tried to be like Kim Kardashian. At the time of filming, I was all like, oh my god, Kim K, now Kim West. And then I looked back and was like, oh sweetheart, don't ever do that again. So that's why I have read some of these, because it was a bit ago. So I'm just going to go through them. First up, I Had a Black Dog, written and illustrated by Matthew Johnson. In the UK, there's a very old saying that says if you say, I have the black dog, it means you are depressed. It's a more acceptable way of describing depression. So what Matthew did is he took that idea and put it in a kind of parody children picture book story. So there is in these stories an actual black dog, and that's his depression, and he describes how it makes him feel. Loved this. This was in my wrap up. Loved it. Thought it was fabulous. I then have Raymond Briggs' When the Wind Blows. Haven't read this yet. I read Raymond Briggs' Ethel and Ernest, and I've done a whole video review on that, so I'll link that down below. Ethel and Ernest is about Raymond Briggs' parents, and it's about their life, and his books are always normal people going through extraordinary things, so like war times that we've had in the UK. Love it. So I'm excited to get to that. I then have The Vicar Woman, which I've read, and I reviewed this in my wrap up. This is by Emma Rendell, and this is about a woman who is a female vicar. She goes over to a small island who have built a church, and she realises that something's wrong with a little girl that's gone missing. Some kind of abuse has happened to her, and they all know about it, and it's making, like, the guilt is eating away at them. It's really about guilt. People's guilt towards not helping someone when they had a chance to. This is such a moving graphic novel. The style is really weird and surreal, and it gets really surreal in this story. I loved this. This broke my heart. This actually broke my heart. And I uploaded that like wrap-up video quite a bit of time ago, and I've read this quite a bit of time ago, and I still like know scene for scene. Everything about it, because it impacted me just so much. It was so beautiful. You need to read this. Oh, it's just stunning, and I think for a graphic novel to impact me, it doesn't normally. In a novel, when I've got a lot more time to get connected with characters, but in graphic novels, it's a much shorter space of time to get to know the people, and sometimes it's not in depth about people's emotions, it's all just kind of based on speech and a little bit of emotion. But this really got me. Just the way she drew it, the way things were revealed was so clever and skillful. This is a fantastic graphic novel. And then the rest of them, these little gems here, I haven't read, I need to get to. So The House That Groaned, this is by Carrie Fansman, and I really love the cover. So the cover is, as you can see, a house and windows, and underneath it is inside those windows. How freaking clever is that? So I'm excited to get to that. It's all a blue palette as well, so excited for that. I believe Ghost World, which, if we're talking about graphic novels, Ghost World by Daniel Clothes is one of my all-time favourite graphic novels, and that's all got a green colour palette and it works really well. Ghost World. Read Ghost World, it's amazing. I then have Michael Morpurgo's Half a Man, illustrated by Gemma O'Callaghan, and this is a children's book, but it's about a little boy who his granddad has some kind of scarring, and the little boy is scared of his granddad. He loves his granddad, but he's scared of him because of the way his granddad looks, so it's about disfigurement. And this is a picture book to get children to understand what happened. You know, people have stories and they're not scary just because you might be scared of how they look on the outside. And I think his granddad has been in a fire, and that's why he looks the way he is. But like, don't judge people on the outside and think they're evil because of that. This One Summer, that one though, this is all a blue colour, blue kind of violet colour palette, you get what I mean there. And then I have The Sleeper and the Spindle. Now I've got some opinions on this. Haven't read it yet though, but you know me, I'm just still very opinionated. This is a children's book, but it's heavily illustrated. Neil Gaiman wrote this. I'm not a Neil Gaiman fan. He wrote Coraline and I found that one of the slowest stories I've ever read in my whole entire life. I thought the plot of it was really interesting, but the execution of the story was painful, really hateful book to read, and I didn't enjoy that whatsoever. So yeah, I'm kind of like, ugh. But then it's illustrated by Chris Riddell, and Chris Riddell is a fabulous illustrator. He has his own series called Goth Girl now, which I've read some of. I love it. Chris Riddell is a genius. So I'm hoping that, like, Chris is going to shine out more. I mean, oh, I love you, Chris. I love you. But let's be honest, you keep in bad company, don't you? So many people are going to be so annoyed. I know you all love Neil Gaiman, but I just can't get into him. Name me a book that's not like a YA. Name me a children's book that he did that is good, please. Because Coraline, let's be honest, the film is much bloody better than the book. And that's it. That's the end of my library graphic novel book haul. Tell me any graphic novel recommendations down below and I will check them out. Tell me if you use the library and your reasons for using it, or if you don't, because I know a lot of people don't use the library. In the UK, a lot of people aren't using the library, so they're being shut down, and we already have cuts, so the government are saying like, oh well, not enough people are using this, and we need to cut services, so we'll cut the library. And I think it's so incredibly sad and just devastating for communities. So tell me why you don't use the library, what's wrong with the library for you. And what I would say is graphic novels in libraries, perfect. £14 for a book. So tell me your thoughts and feelings down below, and I'll see you again soon for another video.